Going on, everybody? I know a lot of my current subscribers right now are big fans of the fish. My Ghoti videos are some of my most popular videos. For some reason, people like my deck lists a lot, even though I think the previous deck list I posted was kind of garbage. But now, I'm going to be showing what I've been playing recently. So this will be kind of like my December-January format Ghoti deck, so... a lot of these cards I explained already in the last video, so if you have like a couple of questions about why I play certain cards, you can go watch the old one. Because I know people skip around deck lists a lot, so we're just going to go through this real quick. First, we have 3 Paces. Most people play 2 nowadays, from what I'm seeing, but I think this card is just one of the best normal summons. It's not good on its own like Leaf Fish is, but it gives you access to pretty much anything as long as you have another fish in hand. Now I only play 2 Shift and 1 Zep. I no longer play Desires, so I'm able to like cut these down a little bit. Shift still isn't bad to see in your hand. Zep you pretty much never want to see in your hand, so you cut it down to 1 now. If you do draw it though, I do play 2 copies of Snopius now, along with 1 Ixeep. Ixeep is very searchable, so you just need 1. It's there if you ever need it. And then Snopius, like I said in the last video, Snopius just kind of hard carries this deck. Snopius is the reason that this deck can go to like turns 3, 4, 5, like continue grinding on and breaking boards with all your synchros. So that's all of the Ghotis. It's a much smaller package. I don't play the other level 6 anymore because it's too hard to summon, and the reward that it gets you is not that great. It just bricks in your hand too much. Then for all of the generic fish, we have Leaf Fish, 2 Beautiful Princess, 2 Abyss Shark, 2 Angler, and then I am playing now the Supe package. I think the Supe package is better than running the Desires version, because obviously you don't want to run Desires, because the risk of banishing Supe, of course. The Supe engine adds a lot to the deck, especially going second, because it really gives you that, like, it gives you some going second pressure, because it threatens like Whale and Azcan and things like that. So it can definitely apply some pressure going second. It can also let you search your Snopius going first by going for the level 6, normal summoning any of your 2s and then making an 8, which lets you search Snopius turn 1, which is very nice if you somehow accidentally drew Zep. If you drew Zep, having that turn 1 search on the Snopius is super nice. So I think these ratios are all the same. Leaf Fish is like the best starter. Abyss Shark is the best extender. Princess, since I'm not playing like pots, I just wanted to have as many starters as possible. So Princess tutors for either Paces or Leaf Fish. So by playing 2 of these, you're pretty much playing 5 copies of Leaf Fish and 5 copies of Paces. And since Handtraps aren't like super popular, you can usually resolve this card without any issue, but I am playing Crossout now, so if you draw Crossout, you can protect your Princess from things like Ash and whatnot. So that's it for the fish. And then, of course, we have the Handtrap lineup. Going hard with the Handtraps has really paid off for me with this deck. So I do play 12. 3 Shifter, of course. This card deals with all the Boogeyman decks of the format. Ash, the least impactful Handtrap in this lineup. But usually you can hit at least maybe 1 or 2 good cards in every deck with Ash. Bestials are the riskiest inclusion, I would say. because this deck, if you haven't noticed, is just all water monsters. Oh, I dropped everything. This deck is all water monsters, which means you are heavily reliant on your opponent playing a light or a dark deck, which thankfully, pretty much every local's popular deck is going to be light or dark, right? Tier Limit is everywhere. Dark Worlds are now everywhere. Like, you Magnamoot somebody's Grapha out the grave, and they're feeling really bad. Also, Despia, like branded Despia, is seeing like a huge resurgence in popularity for some reason. So these cards are almost always good, but you do get some scenarios where your opponent's playing like some kind of Vernisylph deck, and then you're just fucked. But you do have like Shifter, so if you pitch Shifter, Shifter goes to the grave, and you can use your Bestials on the Shifter at the very least, just to like get the body on board, get the Druid Worm search. So that is all the Handtraps. Most of these are pretty consistently solid. I don't play Nibiru in the main. I play Nibiru in the side. Because a lot of these decks that I just mentioned don't care about Nibiru at all. And then just to round out the deck, it's a 40 card deck. 3 depths and 2 crossout. I'm actually not sure if I want to continue playing this, if I'm being honest. Thanks to like Beautiful Princess and Arianpos, you have, and shit, even Abyss Shark can search like your Ixeep. Because this card can only search Ghotis and not fish. But if you draw like any fish that's not a Ghoti, you have access to your full engine anyway. So I'm considering like just getting rid of this card entirely. It does help with your grind game a little bit, but if like Snopius is so good in the grind game, if Snopius is not good enough for like in a grindy matchup, if Snopius isn't good enough, you're just going to be losing anyway. I might end up cutting these for like 3 more Handtraps maybe. But we will see, and of course I'll keep you guys updated if I do. And the 2 crossout, this serves multiple purposes. One for Handtraps, because we are playing a pretty sizable Handtrap suite, and this deck loses hard to Ash and Imperm specifically, so it's an out to those. But if you don't know, you can call crossout on your turn, and you can banish like Paces or Shift. Like, you can cross out calling your Paces or your Shift. Their effects, so this will banish them face up, right? And their effects are going to be negated until the end of this turn. Which means, on the following standby phase, they'll get their effects back, and you'll be able to summon them. So not only is crossout protection from Handtraps, it's also an extender to get you your tuners on the following turn, so that you can start doing quick synchros. So I think this card is super sick. I'm probably never going to play the deck without this going forward. It's just the most versatile card in the deck. It gives you Handtrap protection, or it's an extender. I don't know what else you could ever want in a card. Extra deck. Not much has changed. 2 Arianpos, no explanation there. 2 Azcan, no explanation there. Whale, level 8 board wipe. Dragite. Dragite's like the best going first, level 8. Because it's super easy to make with the Supe engine. And if you have a water engrave, it's a spell negate. So then you can go like spell negate into any level 10. Or on your opponent's turn, you can only go into Deep Beyond, of course. I'm playing Omega, because I am playing Gamma in the side. I really want to put Gamma in the main. That's if I had to take out. So if you're still listening by this point, if I had to take out the field spells, I would put in a Gamma package, like 3 Gamma and 1 driver, because Gamma is super good for very specific cards, like Princess and Supe. So Princess banishes for cost, which means it'll be banished, and if they try to hand trap it, you have no monsters on field for the Gamma. And same thing with Duskwalker. It activates in hand. If they try to Ash it or whatever, you can use Gamma. And if you really want to, you can go into Omega to like rip a card, or you can go into Dragite. And then level 10s, Deep Beyond, Baron, Changing. And then I had one flex spot, so I put in Ruddy Rose, but it never came up, so this can be kind of whatever you want. Like the Ruddy Rose unfortunately never really came up. It's a nice card to have though in certain matchups though. And then for the rest of the non-synchros, we got Dragon, Coral, Bahamut Toad. Yeah, if you're playing the Abyss Shark package, you can make rank 4s super easily. So it's hard not to play these. Dragon is good under Shifter because Toad cannot tribute itself to negate under Shifter. So if you can make a rank 4 and you're under your own Shifter, you make Kragan instead. But if you're not, then Bahamut Toad is definitely better. And then Coral is just for combo extension and clearing the board. And then the side deck, I explained my side a lot in the previous deck profile, so this one's just gonna go kind of quick. 3 Alpha, this card's just the GOAT. It's one of the best going second cards that Ghoti can play, because it's an immediate threat to the board that can run over things, it can bounce things, and then you can also just special this, normal a level 2, and make any level 10 synchro. And if you make Baron, then you can kind of out like 3 monsters. I play the 3rd Magnamut for the really grimy dark decks. I play 3 Nibiru just to kill the rogue decks like Hero and shit like that. The Gamma package, I want to put this in the main somewhere, but I need to find the space. 1 Duster for the back row decks, and then D-Barrier is still an incredible blowout card. You flip this against any fusion deck, or even against Sprite, Sprite is this deck's worst matchup. Even against Sprite, you can just kind of flip this. Pollock sees, they can't make Gigantic or Toad anymore. So they're playing with only Lynx, and if they're playing pure Sprite, then they don't really have much other than their Xyz monsters. So that's about it for this one. I'll try to update more often as more things change, but for the foreseeable future, this deck list is probably not going to change very much at all.